Hi everybody, thank you for joining me. This is Living Divinity. I hope everybody's doing well today. It is a bright sunny day. As you can tell, the candle, you can't hardly see the candle. Let me shut the blinds just a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit better. Anyways, I'm going to begin by thanking all of you who have subscribed, who have liked, who have shared, who have commented, who had made donations on the CashApp. All of you, I really appreciate you so much. It's a big help to have the support from all of you, viewing it and that sort of thing, doing the readings. But let's thank God that we can come together and we can have this beautiful spiritual reading for you, okay? And what else? Oh, and don't forget, it's just a reminder, in the body, down in the box below, I am reading out of the Bible in there. So if you're interested, I'm trying to stick to Psalms because it's those are smaller little chapters, but we'll see as we go along. Anyways, let's get on with the reading. I had my first cup of coffee today, and I'm ready to go. I got to run into town, take care of some things, and let's pull some cards out of the box. Holy Spirit, holy angels, thank you for being here with us, protecting our reading. What message do you want the collective to have today? So I wanted to talk about feeling like you're not enough. It's kind of like say like you're up for a promotion, or maybe there's a job opening, and you get 2 more cards, and you've applied, but then you kind of want to take it back because you don't think you're enough. You don't think you're qualified enough. Maybe you don't think that people don't like you enough to put in their 2 cents on your behalf, right? Sometimes you could actually be overqualified for jobs. That's a true statement, but if you're applying to move yourself up and you're overqualified for that position, wouldn't it make sense to put you in that position so on the next move up you be more in line with where your qualifications are? But what I'm trying to say is, whether it's home, work, or life itself, know that you are good enough. Know that people see your talents before you see your talents. I was blessed to make almost 400 marker plywood boards for my spiritual healing, and it was crazy because I would spend my day and I would just honestly, the whole time I probably was listening to tarot readers just to get the spiritual healing that they offer, right? And so I'd be doing my little drawing, and I'd get done with one, and pretty soon the whole living room would be wrapped with them. And then I felt as if I couldn't do any more until I did something with those. So that's when I would bundle them up and I would pass them out. And I even was able to, God's glory, right? This is all having to do with God touching my heart and healing me. It has nothing to do with my talents, because God's given me those talents. But I was able to take a bag over to the bus driver there in Honolulu, and he would take him to a station and just pass them out. And he said that every time he passed them out, people would just grab them up. So they were on plywood, it was markers, and it was just here spiritual healing words. So when I got here to California, I was able to upgrade myself, and I was able to buy paints, and I was able to buy canvas and that sort of thing. So I started doing that, and God again has blessed me to freely give almost 400 of these paintings. And so it's healing when people, because I don't really stay with people too long, because I'm not going to tell you that they suck my energy. Okay, but my energy to do this work is very crucial. And if I spend too much time with one person, then it's like they become like attached to my energy. Have you ever been around someone where you just wanted to spend time with them all the time? And these are some really good people that I really enjoyed spending time with them, but I couldn't have them relying on me, because I am kind of a nomad, right? And I don't want the attachment of saying, oh, you can't go, I'm going to miss you so much, so at that point I kind of have to cut it off anyways and say, look, I'm leaving anyways, so can we just remember the good times, kind of thing. And the energy that God shares with me, that I hope that you can feel it through the TV, through the screen, through your cell phone. I am like a ball of love, okay? I'm far from being perfect. I make mistakes. I try not to make mistakes. Sometimes I do, and I have to be mindful. And, to love people, I can still love them from a distance, even those that have been really mean to me. And I say that sometimes people will push you away because they don't feel like they're good enough to have you anyways. Well, they should just be honest and say that's how they feel, so that if they're being too critical on themselves, I'd like to let them know, don't be so critical about yourself. Not one of us on this whole earth is perfect. God made us all imperfectly perfect. So never look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm not good enough. Because I guess you aren't at that point, right? Because you're choosing to say those words that kind of knock you down a peg or two. And it has nothing about being all robust and excelling yourself above other people when you say, you know what, you're a good-looking guy. You know what, you're a real attractive girl. When you say that to yourself in the mirror, then when you walk out, it's like you've already put it out there to the universe. Yeah, I'm a good-looking guy. Yeah, I'm a real pretty girl. So when I walk out, that's what people see. They see that I'm a real pretty girl. I probably only have eyebrow pencil on because that's all I ever wear. Okay. There was a time when I was wearing false eyelashes, and I really loved that because, my older sisters, they did it like in high school. That was the thing. And I think they're doing it now, but they do it bigger, right? And my mom always wore false eyelashes when she went out, and I always thought she was really pretty, but I never did until I was like in my 50s, and people probably thought I was a little bit odd being 50-something and wearing them, but I really enjoyed it. And my dear cousin Rita, God bless her heart, she was the oldest out of all the cousins, and she passed away like last year, and her whole life she always looked the same. She always wore those same false eyelashes. They weren't the same, of course, but the same style. She kept her hair was the same style as it was in the 70s. Once you get to a certain age, it's hard for you to make changes, But she was beautiful at any stage. I saw her, I think I was in my, maybe I was about 27. And I saw her and I was at the family reunion, and she was standing there looking good as always, smoking her cigarettes. And I gotta turn my heater off. Hold on one second. And I walked by her, because I was the youngest out of my family and she was the oldest. So if I was, I think her oldest son is 3 years younger than me. So if she was 18 when she had him, let me see, how would I do that? Then, I'm not sure, if she was 18 when she had him, that means I would have been 3 years old. So, in any event, she always looked the same. She was always very beautiful, very quiet, very true. I think she spoke up amongst her immediate family and that sort of thing, but I don't know, she was just a beauty, And so what I'm trying to tell you is, no matter what you look like, your beauty, your exterior beauty, yeah, it matters somewhat, but you know what really matters is your spirit. And to tell yourself you're not good enough, well, you're already like self-sabotaging, right? So never tell yourself you're not good enough. You're not good enough to be a part of that family. You're not good enough to get that job. You're not good enough to hang out with these people, If people are telling you that, that's their insecurities about how they feel about themselves. And they have to feel like they have to hold on to a certain control to see, like, oh, she doesn't really fit in with our group, Well, if you are a poly, no, I don't fit in that group. Thank you for reminding me, But mostly I'm not really a social butterfly, but I can carry a conversation, and an intelligent one too, And I don't have a problem sticking up for myself, because sometimes men will gather you around, and then they'll take their little cheap shots at the ladies, right? Like if they're just trying to bust their chops, I can get right back with them really easy. And the ladies too. The ladies seem like they can be very jealous of you. You walk into a room and you get people's attention without even asking for it. And so, people might have to talk about you so that way the attention's on them. But if they talk about things they've done, it sounds so like, I don't know, like braggish, right? I'm bragging, look what I did. Well, who really cares? Like, it's the energy. It's not really what he or she has done. It's the energy that they put out when they're talking about themselves. If they're talking about themselves to enlighten someone, to say, this might be a good suggestion for you. Like, I did this and it helped me along. You know what I mean? It's, you can't copy someone when you see that someone is a people person, and you can copy them to a certain extent, but people are going to feel the energy. They're going to know, hey, why all of a sudden is Shirley acting this way? She didn't act that way last week. Why is Michelle all of a sudden becoming a spiritual leader? She wasn't like that last week. And then you wonder, are they really changing? Because the next week comes and they go back to who they were, right? They're like, oh, I'm going to give that up for a while. I'm just going to go back and be Michelle. The nasty, sarcastic, not kind person. Oh, Oh, the one that's kind to those that matter to her in her like employment status, right? Like she's might not be very high up, but she is very friendly with the ones that are above her, so that way, you know, whatever happens with those cases, I don't know. I've always just been a worker. I want to be recognized for the work that I do. I want to be recognized for being kind, genuinely kind, you know. And it's not even being recognized. It's like I do this. I do the things that I do because, you know, my grandma used to tell me, you know, pretend like someone's watching you and always be kind, always be loving, you know. So those kind of things always kind of stuck with me, but turns out people don't like that. People like it when you could get into a little crowd and you could all sit around and talk about this one person. Oh, did you hear what Emily did? You know, whoever. Did you hear what she did this weekend? And you know, by the time Emily has told Tom and Tom's told Jerry and Jerry's told Michelle, the story's changed 5 different times. Okay, so what happens is all the people gathered around, they're all believing this one person. Oh yeah, you know, she told me this, that, and the other. You know, maybe that's Tom speaking. And then everyone's believing because Tom's saying, I heard it direct from the horse's mouth. But when you're listening, if you're not really listening very closely, you can add and change things. You could, just by the words that you use, can change the whole meaning of what the statement is. So, you know, we just have to be real careful about that, and we have to be careful who's in our circles, and we have to understand that if we want to know the truth, you know, we have to seek the truth. We can't just assume that Tom knows everything that Emily said, you know. So moving forward, I've got my handwritten cards. I could talk about this for about 17 minutes, so I think that's enough. God is alive. God is amazing. God is irreplaceable. God will put you on the path to guide you out of darkness. You say, how does he do that? You open up your mind, your body, your soul, your heart, your spirit, your home, your life to God. And really mean it when you say it. And watch how God works. Watch the miracles. Admire beautiful things. Admire beautiful people. Admire beautiful places. People, places, and things. Now, if you're in turmoil, right? If people, places, or things cause you turmoil, what are you going to do about it? Are you just going to shut it out? Are you going to speak up? If you speak up, how are you going to speak up? If you speak up a certain way, people are going to say, gosh, she's really emotional. You know, can't she take a joke? Meanwhile, you say that exact same thing to that exact same person, and then they get super offended. Well, when it happened to you, you got slightly offended. So people can often, they can dish it out, but they can't take it. And there's a lot of people out there like that. So the thing is, you know, you almost have to say, hey, Joanne, you just said that to me last week. You see how I responded? I said the same thing to you this week, and you start throwing things. You start having a fit. You start stomping like a little baby. Like, what's really wrong with you, right? I have a cousin, Joanne. She passed away when she was 52, and she had a lot of dreams. She didn't get to fulfill too many of them, I guess, but she was blessed to have some children, and now she's got grandchildren, and I'm not sure how many grandchildren were here when she was alive, but I think she must have had one or two maybe. And so the names are the names. These are just names that I hear. So if you happen to have that name and it resonates with you, okay, so be it. But I have cousins who have, the only names I don't have as cousins is probably George. What other names have I said? George, David, that's about it. All the other names I have relatives, those names. Okay, so if this is for you, it's for you. Karmic thinks he or she will get the last laugh. Okay, so whatever's going on, you know, it's not even really about that, but they seem to think it is, right? Who gets the last laugh? We never know when karma's going to go back. And as long as we're putting out positive, right? We know that God's going to protect us. God's always going to protect us. And it's kind of like sticks and stones may break your bones kind of thing. But you know, words do matter, right? Because God does hear everything. He hears everything that's said. And he knows the intent. You know, he knows the intent. And he knows everybody's past. He knows everybody's present. He knows everybody's future. Okay, so God has my back. When you claim God as your salvation, right? As your guidance, as your true love, as the universe, God is everything, right? God will have your back. And you have to carry yourself a certain way, right? You can't go running the streets and do this, that, and the other, and then go back into your home and pick up the Bible and say, I'm a God-loving, God-fearing person. You know, it's not my place to judge you. I'm just saying, you know, if you're going to be a God-loving, God-fearing person, you know, there's certain things that you should know that you really shouldn't be doing. And I don't know, we saw something on TV where Dr. Phil was talking to a lady and she kept using the Bible and kind of changing things to suit her situation. But you know, those things kind of happen too. Who's to say? Who's to say what the original Bible said? We don't really know because we weren't there. Bible's been changed how many times. Anyways, moving forward, I believe that we have to take the good out of the Bible, right? The good words that we find. How to live our life, how to live in peace, how to be loving our neighbors, how to overcome, how to heal ourselves, how to love. Take those good things out of the Bible that is helpful for us to be on our path. Okay. Seize the opportunity. And healing begins. So they don't really necessarily have to go healing first, then seize an opportunity. It could go seize an opportunity, and you know, who knows who's going to be in your new circle, who can help you, who can understand you, what you've been through, who can help you heal, who's gone through a healing process, and maybe you've been following them, right? Maybe they're neighbors and you see how much they've changed. Maybe you've watched them on TV. Maybe it's on a channel, right? Maybe you get connected with someone who really understands what you've been through and can help you heal through it. Okay. Learn each other's love language. So I think for me, I don't know. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. And, then men are from, one man might be from North Mars, one man might be from East Mars, and so forth and so on. If men are from Mars, not all men are exactly the same. So you have to figure out what the love language is. Some want to give gifts, right? Someone, my second husband, he really tried. He used to bring me home flowers, fresh cut flowers, and he would bring me little trinkets that he found here and there. And I wasn't used to that. I wasn't used to that kind of love. My first husband, he didn't do that. He played tricks on me. He was he liked to belittle me. He liked to put me in the corner. He liked to go run off while I sat at home and waited. He had his love was self-love, and this is the way that I am, and I'm not going to tell you anything about me. I'm going to keep you wondering, and I'm going to keep you guessing. I'm going to keep you trying to figure me out. Yeah, I'll give you that child, and I'll tell you, I'll never use her as a pawn, and then I'll use her as a pawn. That was my first husband. My second husband, he actually tried to do that, and I wasn't used to that. So instead of me, I just didn't know how to handle it. I'm sorry. It's something that I really should have healed before, I got with him. But everybody has a different love language. We have to know what their love language is, and we have to know and understand that there's nothing wrong with having self-love. But when you're selfish about it and you say, it's me or the frickin' highway. Oh, that's easy. I'll take the frickin' highway. Why am I going to sit here and try to prove myself to you? It's like, take that love and put it where the sun don't shine. He's on number 3, and I don't really know. I don't want to know. And, maybe that's the one for him. And I'll be very happy for him if it is. But, we just have to keep moving forward in life. We can't live in the past. We have to take the lessons that we can learn from it and know that the next relationship, the next friendship, the next whatever is not going to be one-sided, right? Because you're going to learn not to give too much of yourself. You're going to learn that, hey, it's even give and take. And if you haven't been taught that by your parents, then, if you're not willing to learn that to be in my life, then there's the door, dear. And it's not even being demanding, right? It's fair. It's fair to say, hey, your love language is by buying me things, but can you just hold me once in a while? Can you just cuddle me once in a while? That's my love language. My love language is we'll make it through if we're both loving each other the right way. We're not deciding one minute we're married and then the next minute we're going, out with the girls and we're partying and dancing with a bunch of different men. It's not the guys going out to the gentlemen's clubs. When you see things, when you put yourself in those kind of environments, oh, you know what to expect, right? That's both sides. So, just learn each other's love language if you happen to have a significant other. And you know, even your own kids, you know, you have to allow them to grow. You have to teach them, you know, hold your body sacred. Be picky about who you spend time with. Don't just be with anybody, you know. Hold yourself at a certain value. It's not saying you're better than anybody else. It's saying that you choose to make better choices for yourself. I pray for abundance. God gives us visions. Okay? The abundance. You might be driving in the car and all of a sudden you might have an epiphany. You might pull over, you might get to your destination, and you might pull out your cell phone and you might say, hey, I got this vision. You know, I should try to invent this. I should try to have this patent, right? Whatever it may be. Those are visions from God. That's through your intellect, through your intelligence, through your ancestors. You know, you're only as smart as the combination of your ancestors, right? Time to refresh. Take some time off. You know, if you feel like you're being run down, if you're around people that emotionally suck the energy out of you, what does that tell you? Does that tell you you're a tough guy and you can handle it? Does it tell you you're a tough girl and you know, you have the strength of 10 elephants? I don't know. Elephants are pretty strong, right? But if people leave you feeling drained, then those people, it's a red flag, right? It's a red flag saying, you know, when I'm around you, I feel a certain way. I don't feel energized. I feel like I don't know. How do you feel when you feel drained? When you feel drained, you feel like you're being used. You feel like you're exerting too much energy and it's not being reciprocated. Okay, so those are kind of like red flags. Find your true discernment in life, right? Being like, if you ask God for discernment, are you going to keep putting those rose-tinted glasses on? You know? Or are you going to make a stand and say, hey, I'm not going to pretend anymore. I'm not going to pretend that I feel a certain way when I really don't, just to make you happy. I'm not going to, you know, diminish who I am to put you on a pedestal to make you feel better. You know, you're not exerting any good energy back to me. All you do is yell, bitch, complain, and moan. You're never happy. It's never good enough. Hello, that's a red flag. If someone is never happy and things are never good enough, these are sour pusses, man or woman, okay? These are people who don't even know who they really are. Because if you can't find happiness in yourself, if you can't talk about something that happened last week that maybe was a little bit serious, but then this week you talk about it because it's already been hashed out, and then you can laugh about it, right? Yeah, weren't we crazy that day? Remember that day? You know, why did we act that way? Oh, that's because Susie came over. You know, Susie's the cause of that, and we should have known that when Susie comes around, there's a situation, right? And we need to not tear her down, but don't allow her to bully us in her certain way, or whatever the situation is. Okay. How much talk holds water. How much water does talk hold? You know what I'm saying? It's like you can talk a good game, but can you actually do that? You can say, "Oh, I can exceed past, David over there. What does David do in a day's work? I can exceed past what David does in a day's work, right? Okay, let's see it. You start tomorrow, okay? Then tomorrow, David's whoever can't keep up. He just can't keep up because he doesn't have the drive. He doesn't have the intellect on how to go from point A to B to C to D to get it all put together in a little bundle, right? This guy has to go A, B, and then C, D, and then David's doing A, B, C, D, right? Whatever. You get it, right? So be careful what you ask for. If you say you can perform, then be ready to perform. Don't talk a big story and then not come through with your words, because you're only as good as your words are. So that's kind of a dumb thing, to be in competition. But be careful what you say, because people will catch you in lies, is what I'm saying. So be true to yourself, so that way you won't put yourself out there like that. Okay. Choose love over money. Love frequency will give you abundance. As above, so below. When you are spiritually enriched, as above, so below. Spiritual is spiritual, worldly is worldly. When you become spiritually rich, and when I say rich, I mean like you've healed yourself, you know where your position is with God on this earth. Nobody knows what the position is when they die, okay? But when you realize God wants me on this path, and I'm going to stand fast, and I'm not going to let anybody tell me what I can or cannot do. I'm gonna rest. If I take little baby steps, if I'm like a little turtle, and it takes me, 6 years to finally open up a YouTube channel. What did I do in those 6 years? Did I just dilly-dally around? No, I actually had my own website. I had to initiate that. I had to get a business license. I had to reach out to people to help me build the site. I had to do my work on that channel, and I had to shut it down. It wasn't the right time, and it wasn't the right place. And I think God was just testing me to see, would I just give up? And I kept on for a whole year. The site didn't work for a whole year, but I kept on it. I kept on that guide, trying to get that site working. And it worked 1 quarter out of the whole year. But in that 1 quarter, that's like 4 months, right? Yeah, 3 months. I had almost 400 followers. And so the big picture of it for me was, if I can have that kind of pooling of people, right? They're following me because of what I'm saying. They're reading my energy. They're understanding that, hey, this girl's been through a lot. She doesn't even look like half of what she's gone through, right? And why is that? It's because I put love. Love always matters to me, Love always matters to me. If you love your grandparents, are you going to honor their wishes when they die? Or is it just going to be they're dead and you can do what you want? I'm going to give you a bath. But you better stop it right now. Love is so healing. Even through the worst times of my life, I always held on to love. I always held on to love. Love is very healing. Okay. Fake love through lies. Okay, there's real love and there's fake love. What's fake love? How do you determine if someone is having fake love for you? It's when their words ring true that you know that they have real love for you. If I say, hey, I'm here to tell you that I love you. I'm in love with you. It's kind of, I don't know. I know for me, I'm not going to tell anybody that I love them if I don't love them. You know, if you're my people out there and I'm sending you love, of course, I'm sending you real love. The love that I have inside for people, right? I send you the love that I have, right? But if I tell you that I'm in love with you, what's going on here? Kind of like it like that. If I tell you that I'm in love with you, that means my actions should match my words, right? What does it take? Will someone make you jump through a whole bunch of hoops? Like, if I tell someone that I love them and they don't really love me, I wish they would just say, you know, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but I don't feel that way, right? And if people have told me that they're in love with me and I didn't feel that way, I would tell them, because I don't want them pawing at me thinking that, oh, they're telling me that they love me, but I don't feel that way. Why would I want that? Why would I want to drag that person around? Some people like it. Some people say, oh, you know, she told me last week that she was in love with me. Oh, what did you say back? I said, no. I said, no, give that guy a chance over there. Give him another chance. But the door wasn't really closed. He didn't say, no, I don't feel that way about you. Go give Chris another chance. And I could almost read his face, right? I could read his eyes saying, you know, there was a lot. There was a lot to fear, okay? Like, such a strong connection, such a strong love, such a strong energy. Yeah, people can get kind of scared of that. And that's how come they become runners. I've ran from love before. And, you know, the thing is how do you keep it alive? When you finally meet that one person and you both come to terms that, hey, this is really love, right? When you come together, there's always that fear of, well, I'm not good enough. He's going to leave me anyways, so I might as well just go ahead and leave. Or vice versa, right? It could be, you know, it's not really ethical, you know. She's so much older than I am, or my parents are a certain religion that does, you know, their heritage is all to stick to one color, white, black, brown, whatever, you know. Even sometimes I mean, that could happen in any nationality. You know, my grandparents were both Filipino. My mom and dad were both Filipino that we know. And we know because of my dad, right? I'm not sure who exactly my dad's dad is because he was adopted. But I think my chart basically said it was like a little bit of Chinese, and it was a lot of Filipino. I did the ancestry thing, but you know, my grandparents' children, they all married almost different. My auntie Felicia, she married Filipino. My mom married Filipino. My auntie Margie married someone who they thought was mestizo, like half Filipino, half Mexican, but it turned out he's half Filipino and half Indian. And then my Auntie Lori, I think her husband was like Chinese. And then my uncle, he married a white woman, and then my Auntie Annie married a black man. So in the 60s, when we had our family reunions, our first one was 1965. Back then, you'd see a clump of white people over here, and a clump of black people over there, a clump of Filipino people over there, and another clump of Mexican people over there. Ours was all mixed up. But, you know, there was a lot of love in our family back then. You know, the love that my grandma had for us, it carried a ways down. So I always carry love with me. But moving forward, I pulled one card out of Miracles Now. When I allow others to support me, I support them too. So that's when I get on here and I tell all of you, thank you for supporting me. Of course, I'm going to give you support as well. I'm going to have a good conversation with you, right? Even though it's only one-sided. And you're free to make comments, to respond. I will always tell you the best advice. And, you know, I'm not perfect, so, you know, I might have a down day. So if you just take into consideration, and I don't really mind if you comment, hey, you know, that was kind of inappropriate what you said or what you did, you know. I'm totally all about that. I'm totally all about being transparent. But just understand that some days I'm not at the top of my game, right? And it's not a game, I mean, like, you know what I'm saying, the whole energetic thing, right? Being who you want to be in your lifetime. Being the best version of you. Okay, so next I decided to pull some cards out of the Animal Messenger. So the first one I got was Water Buffalo. Water Buffalo. Face life head on with courage and reclaim the brave spirit within you. So a lot of times, you know, when we are born and we are innocent, sometimes like the boys have, they just have no fear. You know, they'll get on a little scooter after they're taught how to ride, or they'll just figure it out themselves. And they'll go out there and start doing wheelies, you know, at 4 years or 5 years old, you know. You know, they'll just do the craziest things. And then as we get older, as we become, you know, like more responsible, and, you know, we tend to safeguard everything. Safeguard everything in our lives. We're so used to hearing about cars getting broken into, houses getting broken into, going to the mall and getting robbed. coming out of the bank and getting robbed. We're hearing about going to the gas station and people hopping in your car and taking off in it. We hear a lot of negative things that's going on in the world. But what do we need to do for ourselves? We need to face life head on with courage and reclaim the brave spirit within us. So people say, well, there's brave and then there's smart, right? You can be brave, but if someone has a 38 special, right? How brave can you really be? And I don't know, it's kind of a scary thing, but say you're at a 7-Eleven, right? And you're down the soda aisle. You're trying to decide what soda you want, and someone comes in to rob them. Are you just going to hide down low until it's all over? And you don't even know what's all over, because that guy might just decide to go through the whole store and kill everybody. He might just want to rob it and run out. Nobody really knows what his intentions are. But you hear these wonderful stories about people who do, face life head on like that. And they become heroes of their own lives, right? It's taking a stand. And that's kind of what's wrong with the world today. We're so instilled with fear. And we have to find some balance there. And we have to be able to take risk here and there. Of course, we don't want to be losing our lives. I think a lot of times, those robbers they're not there to kill anybody, but it could happen, right? If you have like a trigger finger kind of guy, or girl, whatever. But they're just there to try to intimidate you to get the money. That's all they want is the money. But then you do have those that are actually really crazy enough to use the gun. Stop or I'm going to give you a bath. Where's that spray at? So let's just pray that God keeps us all safe. God allows us to be protected, to make right choices for us, and to be helpful hands in the community, and whatever that means for you, okay? Next we have the bison. Recognize the riches of the past and the abundance of the present. So like for me, I've talked to my daughter about it. I said, I had opportunities in my past, and things got in the way. And if I ever have new opportunities, I'll handle it much better. And it's a learning process, right? Because if you know how to get money right, in the right way, but you have the wrong people around you, you won't get to keep it for very long. So it kind of has to be understood, that like say if you're on this project, right, and then you decide, oh well, I'm gonna get married, and are you gonna have a prenup? What's all that gonna look like? And do you really need a prenup? And if you need a prenup, then I don't know. Prenups kind of go two ways, because if you don't need a prenup and you guys really love each other, what happens is that other person eventually will be thinking, wow, I don't want to sell a prenup. How do I say it? Okay, so how can it go two ways? If you have something going for yourself, and you find someone that you want to spend time with, and you decide that, yeah, I would really love to marry that person. If you say that you need a prenup, means that you see in the future that you guys could split up, right? You could see in the future. So then why get married? Or, why make that agreement or whatever? But on the other hand, if you say, I want a prenup, you're protecting yourself because the future is unknown. So it could be looked at in two different ways, right? If you say, I don't need a prenup, people just have to be people of their word, okay? I've always been someone of my word. My first marriage, he told his family that he paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for 19 years. And it wasn't that much. It was under 10 grand. And I could have gotten for alimony. I didn't want his money. Because, I just felt like the whole situation was dirty, and I didn't want any part of it. And my second husband, we sold off everything and split it 50-50. And there were times when he sold stuff, and then when I asked him about it, he was forthright about it. And he said, yeah, whatever, I sold it for 150, I sold it for 300, whatever. Okay, well, it's just good to know. Thanks for letting me know. And, we just sold everything and totally just ended it, But when this card says, recognize the riches of the past and the abundance of the present. If you're looking at riches of money, and you're looking at the abundance that you have today regarding money, you're really looking at the wrong place. If you're recognizing what riches did I have when I married either one of these two spiritually, there was no riches spiritually with either one of them. I have more abundance living on my own than I ever had being married twice. The abundance, the spiritual abundance, as above, so below. So when someone asks you to recognize your riches of the past and the abundance of the present, focus on spiritual. Don't focus on your bank account. Don't focus on what kind of car you have. Don't focus on where you live. Focus on your spiritual side, right? As above, so below. And I'm not saying your worldly stuff doesn't matter. I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, right? I recognize the riches of the past. My richest past was when my grandma was alive. She was my grandma. She was everything to me. I was so mad at my parents for buying that brand new house in Orchid. I never told Mom I was mad, but when I was little, we lived on one side of town and Grandma's house was on the other, 1 mile down. Mom wouldn't let me walk down when I was 7 years old. I said, Mom, I can do it. No, it's too far. Then we moved halfway down, we lived up at 10th Street, Pioneer. That was only, that was more than halfway. Grandma's house was, was it 9th Street? Yeah, 9th Street and Pioneer Street. Grandma lived on 12th Street. We lived there for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. I could go to Grandma's whenever I wanted. That's when my spiritual, that's when I was rich spiritually. Moving forward, because I can get sappy. Okay. The beaver. Investing in home comforts provides security and family togetherness. Home security. Yeah, it's about having locks on your door. Yeah, it's about having a fire extinguisher. But more so, it's more the loving feeling of actually feeling at home. All right, kids, we have playtime. You can make noise for 20 minutes. I don't know. And kids, especially around like 4th of July or the New Year's, people used to let their kids get pots out and get the wooden spoons and bang on it for the celebration, right? The sounds of the smackdown on the bottom of a pot, right? It rings and it breaks up the stagnant air. It just energetically does a lot of cleansing. That's why they have all those symbols where spiritual people will gong on them, And it's knowing that when you walk through that door, you don't have to worry about Dad yelling at you because you didn't fix your bed. Naturally, you should learn how to fix your bed, right? You should learn how to not just throw your towels over the towel bar. You should put it on a certain way that looks presentable. You should pick up your dirty clothes. You should do all these things, right? You should know how to do all these things. By the time like you're in high school, it should be second nature to you. You should have pride in what your house looks like, right? But as well as the safety of being home, the safety of knowing that, there's going to be probably some discussions about how people maybe acted in school, maybe someone was bad at school, but it's going to be said in a loving way, a loving, stern way, not in a hateful voice that is taken as ugly, right? Investing in your home, making it comfortable, making it feel just right for you and your family. Maybe on Friday nights you guys have a movie night and you get all the sleeping bags on the floor and the kids get under the sleeping bag, mom and dad's on the sofa and you're watching the big screen TV of the newest movie. The different things of gathering together, having a good meal. Maybe dad's out barbecuing and then mom's in the house getting the corn ready to be taken out to get on the burner outside. Maybe mom's making some mashed potatoes or some garlic bread to take outside, and maybe you guys are lucky and you have a picnic table outside with an umbrella and you all sit down and have a nice meal together and say your prayers and be thankful. Always teach your children how to be thankful and to say prayers. And it begins today, okay? Thank you, God, for this food. So invest in your home life to make it the best for your family, right? Let your kids know that they're always secure and you're always there to hear them. And that you won't jump to conclusions. You will hear them out. You won't just listen to what the school teacher said. Sometimes people will lie and they'll twist things around a certain way to, people in general, right? It's not like it used to be. It used to be you could count on your school people to do more what's right than these days. And it's the teachers, not the teachers, it's the people that are the parents that called for changes, like taking God out of school, That was definitely a turn in the wrong direction. One God, one love. If you believe that you're atheist, let your child decide. Now they're letting children decide whether they're gay or binary or whatever the different terms are. In high school and junior high, wherever they're teaching it. Let kids be kids. Let them decide later. Don't put it in their face today. It's very confusing, I would imagine. Holy Spirit, holy angels. And you all might have a different opinion than mine. I don't know. I believe that kids will experiment and let them decide later, after they've lived life. The Queen of Forces, receptivity, creativity. And she holds it all. So I really want to say this is air. What do I have it listed as? Yeah. I think the forces is swords. The Queen of Forces. She has the water at her feet. It's like the conduit, right? The connection. On one hand, the sun is the creativity. The moon is the receptivity. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the forces is a air sign. Holy Spirit, holy angels. I'm just going to pull a few and then I'll read them to you out of the book. Three of Forces, summer and water, or summer and winter. Summer is the time of harvest, and winter is the time of stagnant but cleansing, right? Whenever the temperature drops a certain degree, everything begins to get cleansed. Holy Spirit, holy angels. The Eight of Keys. The Artisan. Two more and then I'll read. Five of Scrolls, diversity. And the Five of Keys, wishes fulfilled. And the King of Roses. Okay. I'm not going to read the King of Roses down there because it's at the bottom. Begin with the Queen of Forces. Queen of Forces. This card shows a woman balancing the energies of the sun in one hand and the moon in the other, with the river flowing between or beneath her feet. The Queen of Forces represents a woman who can help to bring greater balance to your life. She brings an unusual combination of power and peace, creativity and receptivity, in both her energy and her support. Sometimes this card can represent a person in your life, either you or another, coming into a phase of great power and ability to sustain it with wonderful results. There is a gift of grace and serene understanding when this card is upright. It also brings new roles and opportunities, careers, and many of the science, global communication, nature, and energy may now be available to you. The Queen of Forces could also indicate the appearance of a possible love interest or an associate in business or in a creative project who has powerful influence and connections for you or for another. It may be someone you know or somebody new, but when this card appears, there is a tender yet powerful support. During this time, choose to support yourself as well. You hold the forces of the sun, creativity, and the moon, receptivity, and only you yourself can direct the energy of your eternal life. Feel the Queen of Forces approach you. She offers all sorts of support and energy. Who is she in your life? Take a deep breath and tap the inner part of you that rules the forces of the world. So yeah, I'm almost convinced the forces is the air sign. Five of Forces. This seasonal cycle card reveals how best to spend your energy at this time. The beautiful sunlit sky of summer overlooks farms working hard on their growing crops. Summer is a yang time of great creativity, so this is your notice to get going. Action is an important part of the cycle, and it can take many forms. There may be something you can do to accelerate your professional life. This may also be the perfect time to take steps toward your personal goals, perhaps get more exercise, plan more social events, or start a fun activity you've been wanting to do. You might also reflect on what actions or perspectives would attract a new romance or enhance your love life. This card tells you to consider what needs to be done and go for it. The cycle is a perfect time to create a smiling, self-loving energy and project it outward for the world to see. Also, don't be surprised if a trip is coming your way. This card implies movement of some kind, so get ready. Close your eyes and with a deep breath, fill yourself with the calm and receptive energy of yin. Sense what situation in your life requires a peaceful yielding now. Then take another deep breath, exhale the yin, and then inhale the yang. Feel creative and powerful yang energy fill you. Where do you want to apply speed and action most in your life right now? Okay, so I just need to see something here real quick. Okay, so regarding the Queen of Forces, feel the Queen of Forces approach. She offers all sorts of support and energy. Who is she in your life? Take a deep breath and tap the inner part of you that rules the forces of the world. Okay. The next is the Eight of Keys. Inside a bright and bustling artisan. I'm going to blow this candle out because it's not even really, you can't really see it. Inside a bright and bustling artisan workshop, apprentices are busy at their workbenches, which are arrayed with the beautiful fruits of their labors. The master artisan pours a number of beautiful shining gems into the open hands of one of his apprentices. This card indicates that you now have the opportunity to offer your talents, your purpose, and your gifts to the world, making a contribution to many. Don't be shy and don't hold back what you have to share. It's not the time to hide your light under a basket. As a matter of fact, you may now find yourself teaching or training your skill set to others. You may also be demonstrating your gifts and performing your talents publicly. Even if your gifts lie in the ability for loving, compassionate care, you will be sharing those gifts with others. In this period of time, you can build your reputation and take advantage of the opportunities that come your way. So take action, put yourself out there, and let yourself shine. There's much beauty and empowerment for you to bring to the world. Close your eyes and feel yourself filled with all the gifts you have to share with the world. Sense those energies pour through your heart and mind and out to the people around you. Feel the ease of the sharing. You cannot be drained, for all that you give flows back to you unceasingly. To create return, do the sharing frequently. Okay. Then the 5 scrolls. The 5 of scrolls. So I noticed we got 555. So 555 has to do with changes, right? The 5s do. A woman stands on a veranda overlooking a beautiful valley dotted with little towns on the hills and along the river. Scrolls that she has read lie upon a nearby table. Another scroll is held loosely in her hand, while the woman surveys all that she sees. With this card, you'll find that it's time to diversify. There are many options for you to consider, and you should take a look at them now, or look at them all. Allow yourself to try new things, go to new places, learn new subjects, break out into different directions, and meet new people too. Don't worry about scattering your energy to then. You're in a period of expansion, so use it. Let yourself go farther afield than you planned. In the end, you will diversify in ways that introduce you to a whole new you. Your life has turned into a smorgasbord of opportunities. Close your eyes and imagine an array of all the many different things that interest you. Give yourself permission to try them. How can you do that in the next coming weeks? Okay. So before I start doing this last card here, so regarding the 5 of scrolls, for me, I'm actually going to go take a surfing lesson, and it's coordinated through our family reunion, and one of my cousins, he's attached to the surfing community here in Central Cal, and so he's arranged to have one of those trucks that come and they give you the wetsuits and the surfboards, and then they give you a couple lessons, and then you go into the Pacific Ocean to see if you can surf. So the waves are well, I don't know, in some places on Oahu at the right time of year or right time of season or weather, whatever it is, it's pretty calm. But here at Pismo Beach, it used to be the clam capital of the world back in the day, and I thank God that the clams are coming back. The people are not allowed to really overfish them, over harvest them. So one day, hopefully in this next 10 years or so, we might be able to get back to, I don't even know if it's 10 years. It's in my future what I see. Okay, the next 10 years we can go back to having Pismo Beach be the clam capital of the world. That's what Pismo Beach was known for when I was growing up. It was the clam capital of the world. Okay, so to go do something different, right? So my nephew, he's like an earth angel, right? He's my, and I hate to say it, but it's true. He's my dead sister's middle son, and my sister Tanya, she died when she was 29. So I was 27. So when I was 50, I don't know how to put it. She was born in 1960, and we're at 2024, so she would be 64 this year. 64. She died when she was 29, so she's been away from us over half the time. I don't know how to say that, because 29 and 29 would be 58. But she's been dead for 29 years. I'll just say it like that. But her son called me yesterday, which he never calls me when he's working, right? And I saw it was him. I said, "Hey, Manuel, what are you doing?" And then so he starts talking to me about the surfing thing, you know. I said, "Oh, it's going to be cold out there." Like, I was like, I'm sure they have a surfboard, but what about the wetsuit? It's going to be too cold. I don't know if I want to do that. He's like, "Well, you know, it'll be one thing off the bucket list." So he was trying to convince me. It didn't take much for him to convince me to do it. And so I said, I'll look into it. So I called my cousin. He's like, "Yeah, we got the van over here at 10 o'clock on Saturday over on the free parking part of Pismo Beach. There's one parking lot that's actually free to park. And I'll be there at 10 o'clock, and then you get your wetsuit on. We go down on the beach. The instructions are given, you know. I guess we have to see if we could pop up, right?" I don't even know if I could do that, but I'll try. Anyway, so, yeah, so it's going to be fun. And the last time I tried to surf, my other sister, God bless her heart, she passed away like 3 years ago. And she was dating this guy, Stan, and we were at Pismo Beach, and he's like, "I'm going to take your little sister out, see if I could get her to surf." Well, you know, I was a kid with a heavy bottom, right? Anyway, so he had me on the surfboard on my belly, and he was holding it steady, right? He let go and I fell off. And I think I might have tried 2 or 3 times, but I was like, "No, I'm done trying now." Because, well, I guess if you're in that laying position, you have to pop up. But he was always with me, but he would just let the board go, and I would topple over. I couldn't keep my balance. So it'll be interesting to see how I do on Saturday and or on Friday. So I'm really kind of excited about doing it. So it'll be you know, I'll be around a whole bunch of people that I do know and a whole bunch of people that I don't know, and I'm just going to make the best of it. And I think I'm strong enough to paddle, because you know, you use your arm muscles, which that'll feel really good. And I'll say, "Shoo, sharks, go away," while we're out there, and I'll pray to God. So make a prayer for me that on Friday that the sharks stay away from Pismo Beach while I'm out there. All right. Anyways, I know God's gonna protect me. Maybe we'll see some dolphins. They say when you see dolphins in the water, you already know you're protected, because the dolphins will protect you from letting the sharks come in. You know, if they're in the area, it's like a natural thing that they do is make the sharks leave the area where they're at. Okay, so 5 of Keys. The scene is bright and full. The scene is a bright and full storeroom, a larder for a sizable and successful estate. Inside are keys and coins, wines and spices. Also within the room are a number of baskets filled with a bounty of fruit, vegetables, breads, flour, sugars, and grains. Even the many windows look out at the expanse of your world. This card is a sign that the time has come for you, your wishes to be fulfilled and your dreams to be realized. Difficulties may have challenged you for a time, but even in these, victory is assured. There is an abundance of sweet nourishment and acquired lands coming. The keys to the castles are yours. Forever celebrate. Close your eyes and feel someone hand you a set of golden keys. One of them opens the most important door before you. Open the door and see what lies ahead. Okay. So, since we have this one, the Queen. We have the 5 of Forces. We have the 8 Keys. We have the 5 of Scrolls and the 5 of Keys. So, let me see if on the angel numbers. Let me see if 5855 come up. We'll just scratch off the Queen, which would be a 1. One is shoot. Let's see. What's the number? 5855. Okay, so this says repeating angel numbers 8s and 5s. So this is 8855, 8585, 8855, etc. So it also says number sequence repeating 555. So there's more 5s than that. So this one, 555 number sequence, is a message from the universe that your life is about to go through some major changes. 5855, this is so synced. Means you have a chance to focus your mind on creative, positive changes in your life and manifest. You expect a promising result once you have worked hard. Angels have recognized your hard work. 5855 serves as a reminder that the most inviolable ones are free and tenacious. Okay, so now I want to move over to, we're an hour and 26. I just want to pull some cards off of the Power Tattoo. Power Tarot cards, I'm sorry. Holy Spirit, Holy Angels. 4 cards for the collective. For the angel number, as well as for reading the cards. What messages do you want the collective to receive? Holy Spirit, 4 cards. One. Two. Shuffle it a couple more times. Holy Spirit, Holy Angels. Let's see. Which one? Okay. At the bottom, the situation doesn't serve you. Release your attachment to the outcome. Consider taking a more uplifting approach. Okay, so before I actually get into these cards, I wanted to go over these real quick with you. Face life head on with courage. Reclaim the brave spirit within you. It's like standing in your truth, right? Standing in who you believe you are to be in this lifetime. Recognize the riches of the past and the abundance of the present. If you focus, you could focus on whatever you want, okay? But I believe you should be focusing, recognize the riches of your past spiritually, and recognize the abundance of your present spiritually, okay? The Beaver, investing in home comforts, okay? So making sure your home is safe, making sure your home is safe for the family that you love, right? Someone is the Queen of Forces, man or woman. They have the ability to create, right? This is creativity, this is receptivity. So whoever this is in your life, the water is like the conduit, right? The water is the flow. So this person has the ability to be creative during sunlight hours. And she has the ability to receive information from the ethers during the nighttime. Receptivity, creativity. This is a time of of summer, the time of enjoying life, enjoying the fruits of your labor, harvesting, right? Look at the beautiful landscape. The winter is stagnant. The winter is also cleansing. The winter is a time of reflection. See how everything's reflected? Looks like it's all upside down. The master artisan, this person or someone in your life has acquired the skills of whatever it is that they're doing. They've mastered that art. So after you reach a stage of master, right, you can begin to teach others. You can begin to share your knowledge. You can help other people learn to create. This guy is like a jeweler because it talks about he's putting some tools in the hands of an apprentice to diversify. You can diversify thoughts. You can't just think in one way, right? You have to have several plans to go over. God might give you 5 different lucrative ideas for you to bring into fruition so that it will carry you through on your path when you are wanting to travel, when you are wanting to have time to speak about how God has changed your life, right? You might have several ways to have income so you can keep doing God's work. And God will fulfill you with your dreams. Your dreams will come true. You just have to be willing to put the work in, heal yourself, make your connection with God. Some people say you have to go to church to talk to God. Tarot readers will say you can go to the ocean and talk to God. Other people might say you need to go to the rivers to talk to God. You can be anywhere and talk to God. And of course I allow for you to support me, right? Hitting that like, share, comment, subscribe. That's all a big help. And any donations are a help to me as well. And in return, I support you by giving you some readings, right? Give you a free reading. I talk to you about some of the good stuff or bad stuff in my life to help you see that you're never alone in your journey. Other people have gone through terrible things, right? They made it through the other side. They chose to either keep the chip on their shoulder or they chose to knock it off and take a lesson, right? Now we're going to go to the Archangel. I pulled 4 cards. The first one is the 4th Ariel. When you give, you also receive. Being resistant to change, extremes in how you save or spend money. So, if you've been a saver, you might realize that the flow of money is energy, right? So, if you believe that God will pay you tenfold, so if you're walking down the street and you see a homeless person and all they want is a couple hot dogs and a soda over here at the Chevron for $1.50. That's pretty good for a couple hot dogs. I think that's what he said. Either $1.50 or $3.50. I can't remember. But so if you spend the $3.50, then God's going to pay you back tenfold. That's $35, right? So, of course, it's probably not going to be the homeless guy that you just bought lunch for, but it might be someone else who will gift you in a different way, and so forth and so on. So that is a 4 card. The next is the 8 card. Take pride in your excellent work. Practice makes perfect. Consider getting additional education or training. So like for me, you know, I want to learn more about the numbers. And I see all these people pulling out like who's that one girl? Lotus Goddess. She always, she's a charm reader. So she doesn't do any reading by cards. She has like a box of charms, and she'll scramble them around, and then she'll pour some out on the table. That's how she does her readings. So her readings are very unique. Then you have the ones that do the handwritten cards, which I've done. You know, I still have probably another 100 cards in there to pull, but probably could use another 100 cards with different writing on it to toss in there. But then you have the other ones who do the letters. So they'll have like, I don't know if it's like A through C. Is it A? Is there like maybe 4 A's and then 3 I's? That sort of thing. Like, that would be like Scrabble. So you got all the little things from Scrabble, and you put them in a bag, and then you took it out. So, you know, they're finding creative ways to connect with you. So if the letters are whatever A, B, C, so they might say you might know someone with the name that starts with A or B or C, or you know they try to spell words out. You know, it could come out like barbecue. Oh, maybe you're going to be going to a barbecue soon. Maybe you just got done going to a barbecue. Whatever words that they see in these letters, they'll repeat them. And then some of it will resonate, some of it won't, you know. So it's kind of interesting ways of adding more, learning more, and then sharing that knowledge with other people. And then if it resonates, that's really cool. Okay, so we have a 2. It will be better if you just make a decision. Over analyzing a problem, find a compromise. So this could be someone who who's there's not a third party in there. So maybe these 2 people are just at odds with each other. Maybe you know, maybe she's saying to him, is it me that you want, or is it something else? Is there someone else out there? And maybe he's not answering. Could be, well, you know, we're not really happy here. Should we move? Should we relocate? Maybe he grew up there, and maybe he's perfectly happy, and she didn't grow up there. Maybe she wants to go back home to Louisiana or Florida, you know. How can you make a compromise? It's really hard when my first husband, he was from the East Coast and I was from the West Coast. So if we lived on that side, on the East Coast, which I did for almost 30 years, 27 years I lived on the East Coast. But how can you make that fair? You know, you can move halfway the distance, but then you're not really ever going to be by family. So, you know, I chose to stay over on that side, you know. But, you know, coming back home, I kind of realized that it really wouldn't have mattered, you know, if I was here or if I was there. Now, if I decided to move to like Oakland, that might have made a difference, you know. Would have been by my oldest brother. We probably could have had a lot of different stories to tell each other. And I don't know how this relates to you. It'll all be better if you just make a decision. Over analyzing a problem, finding a compromise. So maybe there is some sort of infidelity. Don't overanalyze it. find a compromise. Look, you cheated on me, and I don't want to go through this again. Well, are you going to put yourself to be in that position again? And I only say that because I left myself in that position. Okay. When I probably should have just left. Okay. So here we have, it's the light at the end of the tunnel. Breathe a sigh of relief and make new plans. Relocation or travel. Okay. So the angel number is 4826. 4826. Tombo, get in the bath right now. Okay. Joanne doesn't come up with that. Okay, let's see. 4826, this is numeroscope.net. If you see angel number 4826, the message relates to the field of relationship and personality development and says that actions taken for the purpose of self-improvement can lead to solving your problem on a personal level. There's no need to go to unnecessary trainings or look over your glasses in search of a potential spouse. Try to actually improve your intellectual level, and you will have a much more real chance of success. Okay, angel number 4826 represents a vibrational spectrum of number 4, number 8, as well as 2 and number 6. The 4 in the message indicates that you misunderstand the expression, deserve your happiness. Predisposition to work is the most valuable human quality, but work is not the only component of life, just as salary is not the only criterion for evaluating a human personality. Look for other guiding principles. Number 8 in the angel's message is both an encouragement and a warning in this case. Angels in your heaven rejoice at the sight of your success, but they ask you not to forget, enough is as good as a feast. So if you give up your principles in favor of earthly goods that do not correspond to your mission on earth, you can be left with nothing. The 2 in the message of heaven says that it's time for you to remember its main quality, the ability to find a compromise in any conflict of interest. Any day now you will face the problem of a choice which cannot be resolved otherwise. But if you choose rightly, there will be no negative consequences in the near future. See number 6 in the message of angels. You should take note that your generosity, humanity, and responsiveness demonstrate constantly can be perceived by others as weakness. I'm sorry, I had a phone call I had to take. Okay, so the 6 of Michael says, it's the light at the end of the tunnel. Breathe a sigh of relief and make new plans, relocation or travel. Okay, so I was doing the angel number. see. Okay. Since it's not coming up 4, 8, 2, 6, let's add the numbers. 4 plus 8 is 12, plus 8 is 20. So that would be, let's just go with angel number 2. See what that says. Angel number 2 represents balance, harmony, and alignment. Seeing this sequence might indicate that you are exactly where you need to be, and you should savor the moment. Check in with yourself and make sure you're moving with intention and centering peace and trust in both yourself and in your relationships. What is the meaning of Angel 2? It suggests, again, balance, trust, and alignment. Experiencing 2 in a sequence, either within a set of 3, 4, or within a pattern, could mean that someone, either in the physical realm or spiritual domain, is helping you to get where you need to go. What does number 2 mean spiritually? Duality, pairs, love, and fellowship. In this case, your relationship becomes more intensive. If you come across with the hour of 2:02, this means that you should listen to your angels. It's possible that someone is hiding something from you. What does 2 mean in astrology? It's linked to Taurus, promotes balance, harmony, and compassion. It underscores the significance of kindness, understanding, and nurturing strong relationships to create a better world for all. Okay, there's a tinyrituals.com. Angel number 2 meaning and symbolism, trust the universe. The meaning of angel number 2 is often associated with themes of balance, harmony, loving relationships, and finding your life path. It is sent by your guardian angels to remind you that you are not alone, and that they are sending all the vibrational energy you need to thrive in this beautiful life. There's a strong message behind the number 2 linked to learning to trust the universe. When we trust that the universe and the angelic realm have our best interest at heart, we can untangle ourselves from unfounded fears and anxious thought patterns and simply let the positive energy flow through us and carry us toward the spiritual path we were meant to walk. Angel number 2 means it's time to get grounded and find your inner balance. By working on bringing balance into your daily life, you can be assured that your sense of self is rooted and that any unexpected winds won't shake you off your feet. It's a message of being rooted in your everyday life and relationships so that you are solid and stable when those major shifts are knocking. Your guardian angels want you to know that your divine life is waiting, and you should see this number as a message of hope. While it's a number of emotions on the deepest level, it is also an auspicious sign that reminds us to stay connected to logic and reason. This is part of the harmony of the number, balancing reason with emotion and trusting in our intuition to lead us down the right path in life. Angel numbers are a powerful message sent from the spiritual realm. They appear in the most mundane, everyday places, from license plates to phone numbers, digital clocks, addresses, and any place where numbers strike a chord. If you keep seeing the same number or get a particular vibrational essence of a number, it could be because this number has been sent to you for a reason. Angel numbers 1 through 9 each hold a special meaning. They can be a wake-up call. They can hold messages of spiritual enlightenment, relationship advice or can serve as guidance for all aspects of your life. Okay. So that's the end of our reading. I see that some wishes are going to be fulfilled after some changes are made. These are changes that either the universe is going to make you make, or it's going to be changes that you choose to make. You understand that allowing others to support you, you can then in turn support them. So I put it out to the universe. Universe, if there's people who need my support, please guide them to my channel so that I can give them the wisdom that I know, the information that the heavenly realms want me to share with the collective, right? We need to face life head on with courage and reclaim the brave spirit within each and every one of us. And when we're able to do that, we can then advise other people how to do that. I've been scared my whole life, okay? I've been scared about the cemetery. I've been scared about ghosts and goblins. I've been scared about the what ifs. So this message might very well be for me, even though that I know that I have God in my heart and in my life, and I shouldn't fear. It's something that when I have a fear, I need to throw it out, and I have to tell myself, God is here with me. God is here protecting me. God is the universe. God is. He knows of my inequities, right? God help me to become the best version of me. God help me to recognize my spiritual riches from the past and my abundance, my spiritual abundance in the present. God help me to make my home safe. Help me to make it the home that other people would enjoy to come into, right? Okay, when you give, you also receive. That we already have that like 3 times. That's like number 3. Taking pride in your excellent work. Practice makes perfect. We've also had that where it said mastering. That was the master artisan. Consider getting additional education or training. So always know that there's always more to learn. You can't just say, I've mastered everything there is about painting, right? Because there's always different ways to paint. There's always different materials you could use to paint. It will all be better if you just make a decision. So someone can't decide whether they're coming or they're going. But the last card says, it's the light at the end of the tunnel. Breathe a sigh of relief and make new plans, relocation or travel. Okay? So I say to all of you, have faith, have hope, and have love, right, in your life. If you have those three things in your life, no matter where you go or what you do, that really is all you need. The faith, love, and hope. The heavenly realms, those are the riches that will carry you through on your worldly journey. Okay? So that's the end of the reading. It's almost 2 hours. It's probably going to take me 6 hours to download this. I really want to cut back down to an hour, but I really think I needed to say everything I needed to say in this reading. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found value in it. I hope that you realize don't force anything that is not for you. Put to the side what is not for you. Apply what you feel like is for you into your daily life or wherever you think it needs to go. And if there's any negative cards that were read here today, you don't have to accept it, right? You put it to the universe. I see this in my future. I see a beautiful relationship with my child. I see that we're thriving. I see that God will bring me the right one that's just for me. I I will hold myself sacred. I will do my due diligence in caring for myself. I will say all the prayers that I can say for all the people out there. I will give the best advice that God would want me to say. God knows that I'm not perfect, but if you stay here with me and your patience with me, then you will hear the message. Okay? God bless you all. If someone hasn't told you today, without you, there's no need for me to be here, as well as I love you. Bye-bye.